Hi folks, welcome back to the Health Connection. I'm Chris Coraggio. Joining us today is Dr. Jack Wolfson from Wolfson Integrative Cardiology. Doctor, thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
You are the author of an Amazon bestseller, The Paleo Cardiologist. And we want to talk to you about what's in here. In here, you talk about the natural way to heart health. But give us a little bit of your background, too, because you have a nice balance.
Sure. I'm a board-certified cardiologist. I did 4 years of medical school, then 3 years of internal medicine, then 3 years of cardiology. I finished up my training in 2002 in Chicago. And I moved out here to Arizona for the same reason most people do, for the weather. Mm-hmm. And I started in a very large practice, and I was in that practice for actually 10 years. But along that 10-year path, I met the woman who would open up my eyes to the natural world. That's my wife, who's Dr. Heather Wolfson. She's a chiropractor, and once again opened up my eyes to the natural world to actually go after the cause of cardiovascular disease instead of the typical Band-Aid approach that so many doctors are using these days.
Yeah, in this book, you talk about exposing, just like you said, the real causes of heart problems and how to prevent them. So what are you saying here?
Well, really, pretty much two things cause all disease: poor nutrition and chemicals. And by chemicals, I mean environmental pollutants and toxins that are so common, and that may be cigarette smoke, that may be air pollution, that may be plastic. I want to open up people's eyes to see, okay, this is the actual cause of cardiovascular disease. So often we think of heart attacks as from a cholesterol issue. The body has too much cholesterol.
Bad cholesterol, right?
Bad cholesterol. Yeah. But in reality, that's only a response to poor nutrition and chemicals in our environment. And if we clean up the nutrition, clean out the chemicals as much as possible, we are going to prevent cardiovascular disease.
Okay, great. Now, what if someone, you mentioned your credentials, if someone comes to you and wants to go a more conventional route, and on the other flip side, wants to go completely natural, you can handle both patients, so you customize your practice, if you will. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, certainly it is a fair assessment. Once again, I'm a board-certified cardiologist, so I know everything from the conventional side, including pharmaceuticals, pills, procedures, if you will, and I know the natural side. I choose to practice naturally, but there are situations where you do need a pharmaceutical. There are emergency situations where you do need to go to the hospital. There are times when you need cardiovascular surgery, but I try and keep that to a minimum. I try and prevent it, and if they do need a procedure like that, we try and guide them through the procedure, the before, the during, and the aftercare to make it as healthy as a transition as possible.
Now, it's one thing to practice that way, but you were so passionate that you ended up writing this book, which came out earlier in the year, as we mentioned, an Amazon bestseller. So obviously, this touched you. This change, if you will, in the way you look at medicine really touched you and made you passionate enough to write a book and to be on shows like this, to try to get the message out there. Are you finding a great response from folks?
Yeah, sure. The response has been tremendous. People come in from all over the world to come and see me. We've had patients from many different countries, all over the United States, to come in and see me because of my different approach. And the book was created for many different reasons, one of which was for the people that couldn't travel to see me, people in distant locations. Hey, buy my book, read 17 chapters in there, sure, some of which are on paleo nutrition, but there's 17 chapters that really cover the full gamut, not only of cardiovascular health, but total body health. The other reason I created the book was to give people a reference and a resource guide to actually take back to their doctor and say, hey, listen, I saw this cardiologist, or I read about this cardiologist, and there's 328 references in my book from mainstream journals that prove what I'm saying actually works. So if I claim that a certain vitamin or supplement is beneficial from a cardiovascular standpoint, here's the research, here are the studies that prove that it works. Yes, I've done it with my patients for years, but there's also the science behind it.
All right, let's tell folks, doctor, how to pick this up. Obviously on Amazon, right?
Yes.
Walk through the process.
Sure. It's on Amazon, and people are certainly welcome to go there. But also, my wife and I created a website called thedoctorswolfson.com. Doctors is abbreviated DRS. It's also available on our website, along with our top 20 cardiovascular supplements, which I do mention. There's a chapter in my book, Top 20 Supplements the resources behind it, the citations behind it, the proof that it works, and then once again, we want to make that available to the world, and that's why it's on our website.
Good, and we put all that information that you just mentioned up on the screen. So is there a phone number anybody can call, or just go to the website?
Well, the website's the best place, but also they can call our local office, 480-535-6844, and we'll be happy to help anybody with any condition.
Dr. Jack Wolfson, the author of the Paleo Cardiologist, Amazon bestseller. Very interesting information, Doctor. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Chris.
We appreciate it. Folks, we'll see you next time right here on the Health Connection.